before this committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you. You may be seated. The witnesses' opening statements have been submitted for the record. We will now play a video that has been authenticated. The audio has been reduced except for the sound of the gunshots at the end. We just would advise the audience not to be startled by the gunshots at the end. Society grants the use of lethal force to various police agencies, but that grant is not carte blanche. That grant comes with serious conditions. The grant to use lethal force is so ominous, that society only allows such force to be used in rare occasions. Today we explore the rules of engagement, the rules for the proper use of force, and the rules for the use of force that are proportional to the threat. My goal with this hearing is not to condemn or to argue to defund ICE. My goal is to restore public trust. If you don't admit that there's a problem, though, we're not going to get anywhere. Witness the thousands of people in the streets in Minneapolis and in Minnesota and the millions of viewers who witnessed the recent deaths. It's clearly evident that the public trust has been lost. To restore trust in ICE and Border Patrol, they must admit their mistakes, be honest and forthright with their rules of engagement, and pledge to reform. I hope the leadership of ICE and Border Patrol here today will participate in a meaningful way today in the committee discussion on the proper use of force. We can roll the video or begin to roll the video. All right, stop. So what we see is the beginning of the encounter with Alexander Preddy. He's filming in the middle of the street. We see two women that are, as you watch the video, jawboning, complaining, protesting, yelling, maybe not being nice, but they're protesting away. Let's keep the videos stopped. And so my question to Mr. Scott first is yelling at ICE officers or Border Patrol, is that a form of domestic assault on the officers?
No, sir.
Mr. Lyons?
No, sir, it's not.
Okay. Is filming of ICE or Border Patrol either an assault or a crime in any way, Mr. Scott?
No, sir.
Mr. Lyons?
No, sir.
Let's roll. Go ahead.
Just a question for you, Commissioner Scott. So we see Alex Preddy here. I think it went for a little further. But he is just holding a phone here. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying, like the rest of us?
He's not on the screen at the moment, but that is what I've seen in that video up to that point.
So, okay, good. Just want to be clear. He's only holding a phone.
Okay, let's roll it a little bit farther forward. All right. And keep going, and keep going past this. All right, now stop. So what we've seen is the two women, we don't know what they were saying. I don't think that's audible on anything. They were probably bugging, bothering, whatever, yelling, protesting at the officers, but I don't think they touched them in any way. Do you think that, or is it appropriate, or is it an appropriate use of force to shove the woman to the ground here? Mr. Scott?
I can't answer that because this video does not show everything that led up to it, any encounters before, that investigation's ongoing. I think we will get that information, but we don't have it from this video.
So let's say hypothetically two women were yelling at one of your officers. Is it okay to violently shove them to the ground?
No, sir.
Mr. Lyons?
No, sir.
Probably good. Just put that up. So I have a question. We see the shove here. I think we're going to see her go to the ground in the image going forward. We'll want you to verify that. I think you saw that video. You know that she gets pressed to the ground, Mr. Scott, there. So I have before me here, this is the policy for Homeland Security, where de-escalation tactics should be employed to minimize the likelihood of the use of additional force. In fact, agents shall employ de-escalation tactics and techniques. Would you consider pushing a woman down to the ground a de-escalation tactic?
It can be depending on the circumstances. I don't know what happened before this. If the officer thinks that doing that is going to prevent any kind of a physical encounter, if there's a weapon or anything else, I'm not saying there is. I'm just saying in certain cases, using hand-to-hand is a de-escalation.
So this woman, who we all can look at our eyes, I mean, this is the thing that's so frustrating for the American people, and the 90% of people who have looked at these videos, this woman's clearly trying to have her back turned, trying to get away, and he shoves her pretty violently to the ground. Just looking at that, would you think that that's not de-escalation, or are you just saying you can't answer that?
No, I'm not justifying that action. I'm saying I don't have enough information in front of me to say it is or is not, because I don't know what happened before this video.
I think what's important about the encounter isn't even the specifics of the investigation. It's about what are your officers trained to do. So your officers are watching it. Some of them are here in the audience. Hopefully some are watching at home. And they need to know. They need a explicit. So there were people who said, and they were part of the government, I don't think they were interviewed, but part of DHS and part of the administration said that, yes, the officers were using de-escalation tactics. Nobody believes that, all right?
No one.
I'm just going to stipulate that. I don't even need your opinion on that. No one in America believes shoving that woman's head in the face in the snow was de-escalation. But your officers need to know they had a verbal encounter with them. She did not place her hands on the officers. She wasn't trying to get their weapon. It's not great. I mean, I don't like to see these encounters either. But is it appropriate for the officers to respond to a verbal barrage of words or whatever? Is it proper to physically throw a woman down or to throw anyone down?
If the only action is verbal, no.
Okay, that's what I want to hear.
Yes.
Correct, sir. Same answer.
All right. Do you have another point on this before we move on? Let's move on a little further. Okay, and so here at this point, she's on the ground, and this to me looks not like an offensive maneuver. It looks like a defensive maneuver, holding his phone, holding his hand up to be sprayed. I think the problem what we have on so many of these images, and not just this one, all of the images that we see is really people being held and forcefully from inches away, sprayed in the eyes with this stuff. And I know it depends on the circumstances, but there's got to be a better policy. You guys have to figure it out. I mean, there was a stark contrast when we see the array of ICE agents and Border Patrol agents and the Minneapolis State Police. And it is not an easy job. I have two policemen, retired policemen that work for me. Being a policeman is not an easy job. Being an ICE agent is not an easy job. Being a Border Patrol. But the Minneapolis policemen were standing there stoically with their arms crossed, And you could say, well, they weren't getting all the crap thrown at them. That's true. But they also weren't launching tear gas back at, and grenade launchers of pepper spray. So what is the policy, first, Mr. Scott, for how we use pepper spray, and not we, how the agent's supposed to use pepper spray and when?
In this case, they should be using it when there's active resistance or when they're trying to de-escalate to prevent using some other type of a weapon or a tool.
Right. I guess why don't we move forward go ahead.
So I just want to be clear, because we all want to know that we're all seeing the same thing, because this is the question. This is what the questions that the American people have, because they've been hearing a lot from the administration, especially early on, and their eyes tell them something completely different. So what we just saw here is that we saw an agent pepper spray Mr. Petty at a close range. Is that correct? Everybody saw that, Mr.
Correct.
Mr. Scott? It was at a close range. He still just had a phone in his hand, and he puts his hand up to basically protect his face from being sprayed. Is that what you see? Is there something we're missing here?
I would have to watch the video again for that last statement.
Can we do that? Just look at it real quick.
Yeah, we can go back and show last 20 seconds again. Go back 20 seconds.
Right here. There. A little bit more.
And then go forward a little
Keep
more.
going a little bit more. Right there. So what we saw is that the agent grabbed him, grabbed him, pulled away with a spray, and he's putting up his hand like, oh my God, you're going to spray me in the face.
Right. And see, the thing is that we've got more than one problem here. I think that, I understand you not wanting to make conclusions yet, but nobody believes you're going to, because you made conclusions immediately, not you, but people within the government made conclusions immediately that he was a terrorist and an assassin, that people aren't believing that it's going to be an honest investigation. It's also been quite a while. And I'm one who, I am very pro-law enforcement. I don't think, as terrible as this is, it's something that's a crime. I think it's terrible police work. But there has to ultimately be repercussions. I think he is retreating at every moment. He's trying to get away, and he's being sprayed in the face. I don't think that's de-escalatory. That's an escalatory thing. So while pepper gas, you might have a theory of how it might be a de-escalation, in this case, without a question, it is. But I can tell you, if we come back with a result and people say we looked at it, nobody's to blame for anything, and there are no changes, I think it destroys the trust in ICE. You want to trust in ICE and Border Patrol agents. We've got to restore that. And it doesn't mean that we have to do something inappropriate to these agents, but some of the stuff's inexcusable. I mean, and it's going to take, it's going to take conclusions. It's going to come forward. But right now, I don't know that the American public, believes that there can be an honest assessment. Who is doing the investigation?
So multiple agencies are doing an investigation. The FBI is involved, FBI civil rights are involved, ICE is involved, and CBP's Office of Professional Responsibility is involved. CBP's specific role is to preserve the evidence and really focus on what you're talking about, the administrative aspects of it and the training aspects to make sure that we are constantly getting better and better. The criminal aspects are FBI. But there's a lot of other video, there's body cam video that's all being looked at, and until all that evidence is evaluated, I can't jump to a conclusion on either direction. I would ask America to do the same thing. But I am committed to transparency, to making sure all the information we have is made public when it's appropriate.
So you will release the officers' cameras?
Yes.
Okay. Let's roll forward. Okay, we can stop. So it goes on. I mean, he's standing up, he's trying to protect his eyes, but he's still back filming and on the back of his heels. At no time in the encounter, we've gone forward a couple seconds, do you see him try to strike an officer? Nor does he brandish a weapon, which was alleged as well. And so we're going through this, and it's like, they will say, oh, he's, resisting at some point. I don't see any resistance, but it's kind of hard to tell when you have 6 people on you and you're moving, are you resisting? I mean, anybody the natural instinct is when 6 people are on top of you, you're going to be trying to move. You're not going to be placid, particularly after they've sprayed him several times. But I see nothing here. I mean, not even a hint of something that was aggressive on his part. Everything was retreat. He's over in the street. He retreats. The woman is pushed to the ground. He tries to assist the woman to get up. He's violently sprayed, and it just continues. And so I don't think this should take months and months and years and years. There needs to be a conclusion. You want to calm things down. I think Tom Homeland being there and now saying we're going to reduce his presence in the street is a good sign and a good step forward. And I'm glad that's happening. I think that is de-escalation, true de-escalation in a diplomatic way. But we need to have answers here, and there needs to be an announcement. These are the new policies. This is how we're going to interact with the public, because the public needs to know too. If I go to a protest and I shout something at people, could I be killed?
Just a little further.
Let's go back. Let's go a little further on the video. We can stop there. One of the theories initially that was proffered, and I'm assuming is not true, but I just like confirmation that's not true, was that as his gun was taken from him, it accidentally discharged, causing them to fire their weapons. His gun wasn't fired.
I can't testify to that. I'm not, that is under FBI's purview with the ongoing investigation. I can't answer that question.
All right. Did you have another comment at this point? Go a little bit further.
This is it here. Move it a little bit further, a little bit.
Go just
Right there, right, stop. Yeah, stop that if you would. So if you'd stop that, I think what we saw right there, and make sure we're seeing this, that the officer basically started to beat him with a pepper spray canister at that point. That's right before we stopped that. So to both of you, is beating someone with a spray pan, with a canister, is that de-escalatory? You're
I'm
going to give
not
me the
gonna
same
answer that.
answer? You don't know if that's de-escalatory? Take it away from this incident. If you just saw someone beating someone with a canister on the ground, would you think that's de-escalatory? Was that what you
We're
would
leaving out what I'm seeing is a subject that's also not complying. He's not following any guidance. He's fighting back nonstop. I don't know what they're saying. I don't know what's going on in this situation. I know that they're all being interviewed what was going on, and that will be part of the official record. But I can't answer whether that's appropriate or not. It depends on what a reasonable officer saw at that time.
So is that part of training? Do you train
Absolutely not.
officers to beat somebody with a canister?
We
If
don't-
there are only several officers holding someone down, then you know, if you really want to.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask just a process question here? Are the people in those videos not entitled to Fifth Amendment and 14th Amendment protection of due process? It seems to me that if we get to a place in time in America
Prosecution,
where we
yes.
have a video that is the entirety of what is guilt or not guilt, puts us in a very,
I
very
don't
bad
think
situation.
anybody's assessing.
Well, I
any
think
kind
that's
of
what you're
criminal
saying.
guilt. No,
You're asking for conclusions.
No, we're asking for conclusions for what is the proper use of force for all agents.
But you're asking specific questions about
Right.
a
And-
video.
And the answers have been generic answers. We haven't gotten.
As
any
they should
answers
be,
from-
as they
Right.
should be, by the way.
And so-
And I just want to point out that these American citizens who are entitled to Fifth and 14th Amendment protections, and for us to make certain that we keep that in mind as we ask these conclusive questions.
They do, for a court of law and for any